The 12 days of Dillo's is social media Ohana on Theme Park Thursday. The nostalgia, the tradition, the magic, the memories, and the madness. The most listened to and downloaded siblings podcast about theme parks that drops on a Thursday from the state of New York. Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz. Brought to you by DillosDizResort.com. Now is the time.
Forever?
Miss Tomorrow.
Old.
A minute and a half.
Hashtag always MGM.
Step out to your right.
Old.
The
Drink.
secret staircase.
We always do that.
You are approaching the unloading area.
Behold the majesty of the Sistine Seal.
For the kids.
A salute to all theme parks, but mostly Walt Disney World.
What a cute ending.
Aloha and welcome aboard.
This is Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank. And we are on the second day of the 12 days of Dillo's Diz social media Ohana.
Yay.
That's right. We have changed the name, but
right.
not the routine, I guess. We have 12 consecutive days of guests that have never appeared on a Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz. The first couple of years, it was the 12 days of Dillo's Diz Twitter Ohana.
That's
Did I say
right.
that right? That's
Yes.
correct.
Mhm.
And I would say our guest today is kind of, I feel like a little bit of both. I feel like, a little bit of both, but, these days more leaning towards the YouTube side of things.
That's right. Yep. I feel like 3 places. Really, we've been dabbling in chats with him in 3 different locations over
That's
this
right.
time. Mhm.
Yeah, we were hitting all the social media. I guess
That's
we wanted
right.
to stay true to the name change. So I this is a rare case because I feel like often folks appear on the podcast and we feel like we've known them for a long time. But this is someone I have met in person.
Whatever. It's fine. I don't care. But
You're fine.
I'm fine. It's
Fine with
fine
that.
when you meet people without me, when you go on your trips without me. It's fine.
I'm sorry. We can discuss this offline.
All right.
But if you're on Twitter and if you're on YouTube, you're definitely on YouTube, you're familiar with the streams, but across the board, you are familiar with Disney World Freak.
That's right.
And here he is right now in the flesh. It's Carlos. Carlos, what's up?
What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for that intro. It's really not a big deal to meet me in person, Jen. You haven't missed much. I'll tell you that much.
I'll be the judge of that.
This is awesome. Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
No,
We're
thank you for
psyched to-
doing it.
Yeah, we're psyched to have you here. To pull back the curtain, as it were, we know that we are recording this in November, even though we're dropping it on December the 10th. But as we're recording, you're kind of still in the recuperation phase, I feel like, from that big Disney World trip you just took.
Oh, definitely. I have told friends personally, I have never taken this long to recoup from a trip like I have this week. I've been struggling to get up for work. I've been going to bed earlier. It's been weird. But it was a magnificent trip and it explains a lot. Yeah.
How long were you there? Tell us the highlights. Go over all of it.
Oh, yeah. That question, the highlights. Highlights. Yeah, we were there. We were in Disney. God, what was it? 9 days in Disney.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We stood off property for the first couple of nights, and then we headed over to Old Key West. First time staying there. That was a highlight right there, I think. A major highlight. Because we like staying at different resorts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice when you get the chance to stay at a DVC one when you're not a DVC member.
Yeah.
And then, it's, I don't know how many trips we've lost count. It's in the teens already. So, but this one was a little different because we had a lot of friends going down with us, a lot of YouTubers that you all may know, people that you guys have interviewed already were down there. It was a big gathering of friends, and that was the highlight of the whole trip.
I feel like we know you through our mutual friend Pete, and I feel like that's who brought us together. And we talk about the different communities in the different social media pockets, and YouTube definitely has its own Disney community. And I feel like you guys have all been very welcoming to us as we just dabble. We dabble a little bit in the YouTubes, a little bit here and there.
Yeah, this community is something else. A lot of them have become friends. We definitely have become friends, but more importantly, a lot of them have become chosen family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have literally become family with some of them.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I told one of them during this trip, I actually said it on a live stream that I love that person more than my own brother.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
and that's something.
Yeah.
From this little thing we do called YouTube and home streaming, park streaming, or whatever it is. It's all come from that, and it feels great.
Yeah,
it really does.
What made you get on the streaming kick originally? What led you down that path? Do you remember? What is the origin story?
To be honest with you, Frank, it was one of those deals where I would watch people do what I do now, these home streams, and be like, hey, I can do that. But I used to hate, I still do. I don't watch any of my replays because I hate listening to myself speak.
Mhm.
I hate hearing my own voice, or dislike. I don't like using the word hate anymore. Dislike hearing my own voice. But yeah, it was during the pandemic. I mean, it was watching Friends. I'm like, I'll try it. And I tried it. If you go back and watch my first video, my wife gave me a little corner in the living room where the computer was set up. And the picture was awful. I was 40 pounds heavier. It was one of those deals where it's like, I want to try this. And one of my chosen family members now came on with me that first day, and it's taken off since. And what was that, 90 episodes ago, 80 something episodes of what I call my show, Shooting the Breeze. Because that's what we do up here in New England, sit on a porch and shoot the breeze.
Yeah.
And that's the Tuesday afternoon, right? That's what you call the Tuesday afternoon stream.
Yeah, Tuesday afternoon is shooting the breeze. Well, I call it everything now because it's it hasn't changed. It hasn't really changed names, but it's like I don't even know what to call it anymore. But yeah, we gather, we shoot the breeze.
And where did your love of Disney come from? Did you grow up going to the parks, or later in life?
Not one bit.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, not one bit. I have 4 children. The oldest one is 22. So we'd buy Disney movies for them to watch as growing up, but that really didn't do it. What did it was, and I'll get a little personal here, and I'm okay with it. I went through a divorce, met a wonderful woman who is now my second wife. But as we were dating at the beginning, she had planned a Disney trip with her family. And, divorce was going in a bad path. And she's like, why don't you just try to come with us and get away from all this BS up here? And I said, why? Why would I do that? Go to Disney, because I was one of those. It's for children.
Yep.
It's for, you're going with children, the kids in your family. Why would I want to do that? But then I said, you know what? Yeah, I got to get out of here. So let's go. And I'm sure it happened with you and everybody else listening to this podcast. Once you walk in through those gates, there is no turning back. There is no turning back. It was the most heartfelt moment, besides my children being born, that I have felt. That was now, God, my son's 22. So 21 years ago. 20 years ago now was our first trip.
That Disney magic will get you.
Yeah. It's gotten me. If people in this podcast can see, if people in this podcast can actually see my background and everything else. Yeah. I got bit. It's what I call the Disney bite. You get bit, and then this, I'm pointing behind me like anybody else can see. Then this happens.
Yeah.
So this most recent trip, staying in Old Key West, Jen and I just did a podcast recently where we talked about 10 restaurants we haven't partaken in, and one of those restaurants was Olivias. And the more we learned about Olivias, because we always see it, on the ADRs, we always see it come up. But then reading up on what the restaurant is, we're like, oh, interesting. So I ask you, did you partake in Olivias when you were at Old Key West?
No and yes.
Oh.
We had it booked, but we ended up canceling it. But Olivia's also has Olivia's to go. So we did try basically Olivia's fried chicken because that's what everybody goes to Olivia's for.
Right.
We did try it, and since this will be coming out after my dining review, I can say now that I'm glad I canceled the reservation.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can go back and watch the food review if you guys want the video. But no, it was, the chicken was okay, but disappointing in portion size.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So not something I would run back to go get.
Right. And do you think it's different with the to-go versus the sit-down?
So I've heard. So I was told you get a little more in a sit-down. Disappointing that I paid the same price.
Yeah, that's a little silly.
I say it in my video. I get more food. I used to get more food as a fifth grader in school. School lunch was bigger. Let's put it that way. But don't get me wrong. The chicken tasted good. It really did.
Yeah.
But
didn't live up to the hype.
Nothing I would run back to.
Yeah.
Not one bit.
And granted, I know that it's not, as we're recording, currently available, but the Hoop-de-Doo / Trails End fried chicken is kind of like, I feel like one of the gold standards of fried chicken on site. So I feel like any place else that's trying to tote fried chicken, I'm always like, interesting. But that was my thinking behind it.
Yeah, it's different because it's a boneless chicken. Olivia's is a boneless chicken, and anybody that really knows fried chicken knows you need to go with a breast or a thigh with bone to get the full flavor. So that knocks it down a little bit. So you can't really compare it to a Trails End chicken. You really can't. Yeah, anything with a bone where you got those juices coming out of it is 100 times better. So yeah, stick to the Trails End.
I know you're originally from, just to touch about you a little bit, you're in the northeastern portion of the United States there. So just to be clear, are you Red Sox, Patriots, Celtics? How does that break down for you?
Yes. And yes. and you missed the Bruins. So
and the Bruins. All right, hockey.
Right.
Sometimes it's nice to always hear a hockey fan.
Yeah.
Oh, I will put every sport above basketball. Celtics fan, yes, growing up, and I only watch basketball in the playoffs.
Right.
I prefer to watch college basketball, to be honest with you. More entertaining, but yeah, more of a hockey. It'll be football baseball, football, hockey than the Celtics.
So I'm going to give you a chance to either be reserved here or I'm going to unleash you here. So the difference is, like, here's the thing, right? New Yorkers, you got the Mets or the Yankees. It's the Islanders or the Rangers. It's the Jets or the Giants. You can't, and people like me, maybe it Mets, Jets, Islanders, that seems like the normal path versus the traditional Yankees, Giants, Rangers. I think people, in addition to just the New York Boston rivalry, they mock us a little bit because we're so indecisive about our teams. So,
well, you guys got a lot to choose from down there, so that does, hurt you in a way. I couldn't imagine growing up in a city that has multiple sports teams for each sport.
Right.
So I'm glad we're up here in New England, but you got to realize this too, Frank, and I'll tell you a little tidbit here about sports in New England, especially the Patriots, not so much the Red Sox or the Bruins, because those were always die hard. Back when I was growing up, and I'm not that old, but let's put it this way: before Tom Brady, we couldn't be. Well, we could be Patriot fans, but a lot of people were more Giants fans, and I'm going to tell you why. We sucked up here, so we couldn't even watch our teams on TV. We would be blacked out on our local channels as a Patriots fan.
Yeah.
So the Patriot fan group did not start until, I'm going to say, the Bledsoe era, where the team was actually relevant and, started selling out and you could actually watch a few games. a lot of my friends are Giants fans because that's
Right.
what we would catch. We would catch the next local team, which would be the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
there is football wise, there is a ton of Giants fans up here.
I did notice that even if you go to certain parts, I mean, not in Philly, but if you're in certain parts of like Pennsylvania, if you go into like a sports store, you will see more Giants merch than like anything, you won't see Eagles, you won't see it. And I'm like, why are Giants over here? What's all this
Right.
merch about? What's going on? So it's
Probably the
interesting how
same
they kind
reason.
of spread. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
Now, because a Florida connection here, Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. How's that been treating you the last year and a half or so?
Honestly, I can care less because I was never a Tom Brady fan.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Yeah.
I
are there
thank him
Tom
for-
Brady fans? I feel like I meet more people that are like, I'm not a Tom Brady fan.
No, and I'm a diehard Patriots fan. I go to as many games a year as I can. But I was a true lover of Drew Bledsoe.
Mhm.
So when Bledsoe lost his job, injury or not, to that man, I thank him for the Super Bowls. I thank him for the duck boat parades and the drunk fest, because he was majorly drunk, him and Edelman at the Super Bowl parade in Disney, the last one. He can deny it as much as he wants, but we all know he was. I thank him for all that. I do. I thank him for spoiling my children because they don't know anything besides winning up here in New England.
Yeah.
But you can have him. I'm glad he's gone. I really am.
Yeah.
Mac Jones will win the Super Bowl in the next 2 years, either this year or next year. So we're good.
We're gonna isolate that clip right there, and when it happens, we're dropping it.
That's right.
There you go.
Predictions. And you have in your Twitter handle, you have coach. Now, are you a coach, or is it just that your love of sports? So you kind of like a little name.
I've been coaching youth sports for many, many years. Like I said, my oldest is 22, but even before then, I started coaching youth sports when I was probably 17 with Little League Baseball. But then my daughter was born, and at the age of 5, she took off playing soccer. And that's where the coach Estevez comes from. I coached her for 12 years in soccer. So yeah, that's when I started a Twitter handle, which was God.
Yeah.
8, 9, 10 years ago, whatever it was, there was, there was Disney love, but the Twitter page was never intended for Disney content on my channel. So yeah, that's where the coach Estevez comes from, or is it Coach Carlos? I don't even know. Which one it is.
Nice.
So I saw you in May in the studios, but so it wasn't too long ago between your trips, but these 9 days that you spent, I would guess a significant jump in the attendance was a big change for you here.
Yeah, we saw, again, I was by myself in May, hanging out with Jeff from This Our Dreams, but there was of course a big hike in crowds, but I'm one of those. I've never found it to be crowded every time we go. You see on social media, oh, it's so crowded, so busy. We've been through Jersey Week. We've been through spring break in April, which is basically New England break. All the schools up here are closed. Right. That's where we used to take our children when they were younger. I've been through, the first week of December. I don't know. I'm just one of those. I've never found it to be crowded. So even this last week, it wasn't bad. The numbers are up. You see the wait times. The numbers are up. And I've hit a no fact. I've put it out there on my own channel. Everybody knows my family. It's not a privilege, but we use the DOS system. So I guess that helps in me not feeling the crowds, not waiting an hour in line for certain rides. So maybe that's why I have the attitude of I didn't find it crowded. Wait time, waiting in lines. But definitely walking wise inside the park compared to May. Yeah, May was wonderful.
It was wonderful.
May was May was DOS or not. May was you didn't to put it this way, you don't need a DOS, you didn't need fast pass, you didn't need nothing back in the day. It was, and Frank, you were there, you know what I'm talking about. It was
great.
It was nice. It was nice to go back. And even last year's trip during the pandemic, we were there the first week in December, Thanksgiving week, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, I mean that day in May, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway 3 times. I hadn't been on it, but to be able to say, "Oh, I got on it 3 times in a day," I'm like, how does that even happen?
Yeah. How does that happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and back in November we rode Rise of the Resistance a couple of times. Don't ask me how we did that, but
but
we did. A little magic, but it happened. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, thinking about Thanksgiving week and how normally it's kind of crazy town down there during Thanksgiving time. I remember seeing the pictures from this time last year, even like the summer when it just started to reopen, and just being like, oh man, these are the times that I want to be in Disney, just walking around, enjoying it all and taking it all in without the crowds and all of it. So but it was crazy to see it during the holidays when you're normally just seeing the sea of people, and it was nice to kind of just see everyone strolling along Main Street during that time.
We always heard stories about crazy wait times, crazy crying. You see the photos on social media. Yeah. So last year's trip at Thanksgiving week, we were timid about it, but we knew with the pandemic it'd be lighter. And we enjoyed ourselves. It was I still say to this day, it was the best trip we've ever taken.
Yeah.
Was last year's. Granted, I guess it was because of the low crowds, the low wait times, but it was also the people we met, the people we hung out with, and the things we got to do that made it spectacular.
Yeah.
And you know, we've said it. We said it during this trip. We will never go again without being Thanksgiving week. Even with the crowds, it's the decorations. We love. I don't know if anybody had this question coming up, but we love going during Christmas time for the decorations
because they were slowly coming in while you were there this time, right? Yeah.
Right. We didn't see much. We saw the Epcot wasn't there. We caught the Christmas tree at Epcot the last day we were there. They had just putting the tree up, and it was like, all right, nice. We saw the tree, but Epcot does so much more during the festival and the holidays. All the resorts are decorated.
Yep.
Later on in the month of November. So we decided this will be the last time we go around this time. We're gonna shoot for Thanksgiving week from here on out.
And no spoilers on the rest of these 12 days that are coming up, but a lot of people have been showing Epcot at the holidays love, and like I feel like there's always a theme to the 12 episodes that we record. Yeah. And I feel like this year, so far, what we've recorded has been a lot about Epcot at the holidays. It just seems like, and I feel a little bit more so because you're going to get more of that entertainment this time around with a lot of those acts back and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. But last year there was no candlelight processional.
Yeah.
It's back this year, and thankfully it's back. It's nice to see some things being back to normal, and that especially. But I'm sure, I'm surprised everybody's talking about Epcot, but because for me, Hollywood Studios for me now is the Christmas park of Disney.
Yeah,
my opinion. My opinion only. Decoration wise, there is nothing now like Hollywood Studios.
Which is amazing without the Osborne lights. The fact that those went away and they've put back in enough to get, because I would say maybe the first year that we did these 12 days, everyone was all about the studio's decorations. And now I feel like it's an amazing turnaround. I feel like.
Yeah.
For me, it's the retroness. It makes me feel like I'm back at my grandmother's house in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Seeing all that garland, the silver garland. The old-fashioned Santa Claus on those glass balls. I think they're glass. It might be plastic, but up on the poles. It's just the retro of it. The trees all retro. Going down Sunset Boulevard towards Hollywood Tower of Terror. All the decorations there, and the projections are pretty cool too. Yeah, we enjoy that. We missed it this year again. We need to go a little later than what we did, but.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we were in the last 2 years or so talking about how Hollywood Studios has like stepped up their game at the holidays. But with Epcot, I feel like I'm just a podcasting fraud because I don't think I realized how much goes on in Epcot around the holidays, especially closer to Christmas, and how each country has their own story. I'm like, I worked in Epcot back in the day, just a couple of years ago, 15, I don't know, 16 years ago. I'm like, was that going on back then? I don't even, it probably was. And I didn't even realize. Yeah. I'm like, I think I worked on Christmas Day one year and I didn't even realize all this was happening. I'm a fraud.
Yeah. I don't acknowledge it because I could never get a call back for one of the performers around World Showcase. That's why I ignore it. So what about at the Estevez home? Well, how do you decorate and prepare for the holidays?
Very early.
Yeah.
Forget Halloween. We go Christmas right after like Labor Day. You know what they say? Don't dress. You don't wear white after Labor Day. Well, in this house, you don't get by Labor Day without putting up your Christmas. No, we don't start that. But,
put some suntan lotion on as you're hanging the lights. Like, all right, we're good.
You're laughing, but as we recorded this just yesterday, it was 70 degrees.
Oh, so nice.
It was 45 today.
Yep.
It was 70 yesterday, and I went out in flip-flops and a t-shirt, and I put out all our inflatables and Christmas lights outside.
Yeah.
Great day
I
to
took
do
advantage.
Yeah.
I took advantage of it. But we start early, mainly because of going to Disney. Because we love the Christmas decorations. We love having the tree up. We love my Christmas tree is all Disney ornaments. There is probably 80, I think it was 88 this year, counting the ones we brought back from Disney. And there's like 3 ornaments that the children need in school. I guess we still put those up. Whatever.
Yeah.
The wife has to put those up.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why we like to start early, just to take advantage of it, because we're not here for 10 to 12 days during the season due to being in Disney. So you miss a lot. We take a chance too, because we have a crazy cat who likes to, mingle under the tree, and you never know if we're going to get home. But no, that's what we do. Halloween for us is the day the tree goes up.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Not a big Halloween fan, so.
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned how your tree is set up, because that's my tree at this point. We have always been very strict about, like, this is a Disney ornament tree. We don't put any other. We've had, some family members try to give us ornaments. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? I'm not putting this in my tree. It's not a Disney ornament. I'm not doing it. But then my kids are 7 and 4, so they have made things now around. And I'm like, this can go on the tree, but everything else has to be Disney. But obviously, I'm going to put this cute picture of him when he was in pre-K on the tree as a little reindeer.
Have that one. Yes, I know exactly where you're going with that one. Yeah.
Of course. So it's good to know that there's other trees out there like mine with that balance.
Oh, it's all Disney now. And now it's even become, it's frightening. We didn't put up so many ornaments because the wife didn't want to put if you remember the Disney stores, if you still have any around, you would buy like the 12-pack or the 10-pack of like the plastic balls with certain characters on it. And we have gotten so many of like ornaments from Disney World that there's no room for those plastic ones anymore. So my wife's like, no, we're not putting those up anymore. It's like, I'm sorry. Let's put up the $40 ornament, not the 10 for 40 one. Sure.
Of course. Little hoity-toity tree, you gotta.
Yeah.
Jen, just put all the ornaments that you get from other people on the backside of the tree. No, you still have.
I mean, I still have enough now, though. I have enough now where we can go around. The good ones really kind of stay in view, but scatter the other. Like the really old, I have like old random silver Mickey heads that were kind of in a pack. And so like those will go in the back of the tree and things like that. But yeah.
We have an addiction to Disney ornaments. It's besides lounge flies right now, it's what we spend the most. It's what we spend the most money on in Disney is the Christmas ornaments. this year alone, this past trip was probably $360 in just ornaments.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's an average of what we do every trip. Because you get the engraved ones. We always get an engraved one with the family on it. And then, you go into this shop, it's like, oh, that's a pretty Starbucks one. Or, oh, there's one with the year. Let's grab that. Oh, look, a resort one. It's very dangerous. But
or they used to do the 3 for $65 deal, and I'm like, what a deal! 3 ornaments for $65. I'll take that, of course. And another 3. I mean, since I have 5 now, I might as well get one more.
And if you have the children with you, they're like, oh, can we pick one? Sure. Go ahead. Pick one.
Yes.
And then you only have 2 kids, Jen. It's like, well, now I need another pack of 3.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
You're up to 200 easy.
Well, and that's what we did in July. And so the kids picked out, we were like, you each get to pick 1 ornament. That's it. 1 ornament. And so they did. And now they know we're getting close to putting up the tree. So they're like, can we put up the tree today? I want to see my ornaments. Can we just unwrap the ornaments? I'm like, no one touch them until the tree goes up. No, I don't want them hiding, breaking. I don't know what could happen to them between now and the tree going up.
It's funny you bring that up about wanting to put them up. My son was the same way. Can we put the ornaments up? Again, recording this in November. Yeah. We're doing a merch haul. Oh, we did. Let me rephrase this because it was now, but we did a merch haul live stream, my son and I. Yeah. But the ornaments are up on a tree, so I had to take them off the tree, bring them in the studio, to show them off, and bring them back. But I told him, let's wait to put them up. No, okay, here you go. All right.
Yeah.
Sure. Now we got to pull them all down.
Yeah.
Is there anything as we go into 2022 somehow? I don't even know how that's possible. I feel like, it's still 2019 in some ways. That's things that you want to expand upon on your YouTube channel, things that you're thinking about to try to venture out and expand a little bit?
I'll be honest with you, Frank. No, when I started all of this, it was no intention of, to put it mildly, I had no intentions on growing. Mm-hmm. I set no goals. Yep. YouTube, everyone has that 1,000 subscriber goal because monetization, wherever he was. But I never started this channel to make $1. Not once that I say it during live streams. I never asked for a super chat, never asked for a PayPal. Always appreciated if somebody wants to donate, but I don't pin anything monetary on my channel. I don't. I even tell my mods, don't even put, my PayPal link or anything. Don't do it. And growth wise, this was more to, like I said, hang out. I love like what we're doing right now. Nobody can see it because it's a podcast, but I see you, I see Jen, and that's what I love doing on Tuesdays. My other show, which I've put a pause on it, the Saturday show, which I still got to have you two on, the get to know them, the interview show. I do it was not to, and again, not to sound rude, not to publicize the other channel, but more for me to meet somebody and to just converse, just to hang out and talk. I enjoy doing that. And 2022, you know what I could say is let me make new friends to hang out with.
There you go.
Yeah.
Have you guys on a Tuesday show, hang out, something like that, because again, growth wise, channel wise, if I was here to make $1, all right, I'd put my foot down on something, but it's just about having fun and friendships and hanging out. That's it. That's all my channel's about.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I think that comes across because, we're very big on just seeing what happens and letting the conversation flow and kind of just telling stories from us growing up and whatever else. And I appreciate when others kind of are doing the same and just being themselves and just having a talk. And because I feel like you pick up on the person's vibe a little more, but you also learn more about them in the process.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because people were really starting to get to know me earlier during my streams. But my wife had me tone it down a little bit because I can be a goof. I like being a goofball. I am a goofball. But I've toned it down a little bit because like I just said about making friends in the community, this community is awesome. But I also did lose some friends for a little bit because I didn't get off the rails, but I was, a little too goofy. I want to keep using that word, a little too goofy for some. And, I started to realize they weren't in the chat anymore. They didn't want to come on live streams anymore. And thankfully, one of them, was blunt about it and told me why. And I appreciated that. And it didn't hurt my feelings, but I was more hurt that I actually offended somebody.
Right.
Or not offended. Well, I guess maybe I did offend somebody, or, made them feel uncomfortable that they didn't want to hang out anymore. And I lost track of why I started this channel. And, my wife's like, see, and she put me back, happy wife, happy life. And she put me back on track. And so my streams lately have been a little different. I do more news and rumors and we talk Disney. I still rant. I love to rant. If Disney does something stupid, I'm going to rant about it. You bet you're behind on it. But I'm not as off the rails as I was, a year ago.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, to be fair, when you start something in the middle of a pandemic, I think we've all gone off the rails in our own way the last 18 months.
Right.
And so I think everyone's due a little space in terms of reeling ourselves in, so to speak. Since it is the second day, we should mention that for these 12 days, we are conducting a quiz. So Carlos, here as we start to wrap things up, and we say that, and we always know there's 20 minutes left of the podcast, that we are we've been doing a nostalgia quiz with some of our guests, but this time around we're doing a holiday nostalgia quiz. So we have a series of questions, and we're going to ask you to the best of your ability to answer them.
Great.
Are you a test taker? Quiz? You like pop quizzes?
No, because I don't. Yeah, go ahead.
Would you prefer Scantron version or
no? We're good. You might see how little I really know about anything right now.
No. It's all about you. So don't worry about that. It's about you.
It's all about me.
Yeah, you can't fail it.
No,
good.
We're going right into your wheelhouse.
They're going to ask me like some movie questions. Who is Black Panther's brothers, sisters twice removed?
So you've seen the questions in advance. Oh man.
Right.
The first question is, what is, to the best of your knowledge, your first holiday memory?
Not Disney, but holiday.
Holiday.
Holiday memory. There is one that always comes to mind, and that is my brother, and I have the photo of it. Maybe that's why, because I've seen it a million times, but I still remember it perfectly. And that's my brother sick as a dog under a blanket on the couch, sitting at my grandmother's house. My sister sitting on my mother's lap, and me opening. And I remember this gift perfectly. It was a plane that had little... was it Weeble Wobbles? Remember the Weeble Wobbles?
Yeah.
Was it Weeble? They would sit in a plane. The plane was green and white. And the plane's not in the picture, but I know what was in that box. I remember that box. I had to have been 4 years old. And I remember, you're going to get me emotional here, but sitting in my grandma's house and just good times. Not that we don't have great times now, because we host Christmas and love having my children over. And this year is my grandchild's first Christmas.
That's right.
She's 2 months old. So it's the start of a new trend. But that's it right there. I remember that day perfectly. That night,
awesome.
anyways.
Do you still have the plane?
No, I
No.
don't.
We have a lot in our parents' attic, just random stuff. So I never know. And if anyone else has as much.
No, still have the Atari 7600.
Yes.
Whatever it was.
Awesome.
All that.
Just to say, just a tangent real quick, last weekend, Papa Dillo and I were at the storage unit, and he has the Pong video. He still has like, you know, the 1970s box. He's like, if we can you hook these up to the TVs they have nowadays? And I was like, I'm sure there's a connector of some kind that will.
Right. Sure, there's a way.
There is, yeah.
There's
He
always
would
a
be
way.
so happy if he would sit in his recliner and just play Pong, probably, and he'd be so happy.
My mother is 87 years old and still loves playing Pac-Man.
Nice.
And there you go.
Awesome. Maybe we need to find that connector for Christmas. We might have to talk about that offline. And
Yeah.
Papa
Put
Dillo's
it on the
present.
Christmas list. We always struggle what to get them. This might be it.
Right.
All right. Next question. Your favorite holiday song?
White Christmas.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Classic traditional. The White Christmas version on the Main Street music loop is that's I mean, as much that song was a great song. Anyone who sings it's a great song. But I hear that Main Street music loop version in my head all the time.
Yeah, I'm a big Bing Crosby fan.
Mhm.
So that song and the movie, just
Mhm.
yeah, definitely my favorite.
Yeah. Good one.
What is your favorite meal at the holidays?
Favorite meal, ham. I love ham.
Mhm.
It's more of a, I guess the things. I don't know what holiday we're talking about Christmas, but
It's okay.
yeah, I'm a ham and stuffing guy. Definitely a ham and stuffing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or dressing wherever you're from, calling it, because some people might be like,
Yeah.
"What's stuffing? What is that? What do you?" Stuffing and dressing people are the same thing.
Yes.
So just yeah, it's funny. You'd be surprised even up here in New England. What's
Yeah.
stuffing?
Yeah.
No, that's dressing. I'm like, no. Stuffing inside the bird, outside the bird is dressing. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Too
love
many
a good ham.
rules. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We're-
Love
we're-
a good ham.
We normally have ham on Christmas Day. Mama Dillo usually makes the ham on Christmas Day.
Mhm.
So I get you. All right. A holiday movie you watch every single year.
White Christmas.
Yep.
No, there's a lot of them, but White Christmas is my favorite.
Mhm.
And I am also one of those that A Christmas Story
Mhm.
on Christmas Eve when it starts at 7 p.m.
Yes.
I will run it at my in-laws, and they get aggravated with me because that's where we celebrate Christmas Eve. We go to my in-laws, and at 7 p.m. I will turn it on TNT, not a sponsor, but I will turn it on. And we'll come home around midnight, 1 a.m. and I'll throw it on because, again, like I said, we host Christmas Day, so I get up early to do all the cooking.
Mhm.
And once I'm up at like 4 or 5 a.m. to start cooking, I'll turn the TV on. You know, it'll be muted, but
Yeah.
I gotta get as much as Ralphie in as I can.
That it's you have to. Yeah, it's amazing how that marathon has become such a tradition to the point that I will not watch Christmas Story until the marathon.
Yep.
Like I won't watch it beforehand. Yeah,
It doesn't feel the same. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
Recently, the last couple of years, some other channel has been playing it like a few days in advance. And I'll look at my wife and be like, yeah, no, it's not. It's not the same. It's
No.
not. No.
It's so
Now, real quick, not to get off track, but
No.
my favorite all-time movie is The Ten Commandments.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I love The Ten Commandments. I own like 7 different, not versions, but Blu-rays and all this other stuff
Mhm.
of it. VHS, old VHS. I will watch it on a snowy day. I love a long movie on a snowy day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's the one, but it doesn't even feel right for me without watching it on Easter weekend
Mhm.
when it comes on ABC
ABC.
for
Yeah.
4.5 hours
with
with all the
commercials.
commercials.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel the same.
Right.
It just doesn't.
Yeah.
It's awesome because you can get through the movie quicker with a DVD, but
Right.
I'm watching. It's like, when's the commercial coming on so I can run to the restroom or something? It's not the same, but it's like watching, like I said, A Christmas Story on. Not watching it during that marathon, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the goal is like 2.5 times you got to get in a Christmas Story in that marathon. Like, I got to watch most of it like early in the night. And then if you're like caught wrapping gifts in the middle of the night, you got that on when you're a little intoxicated. And then you catch like the tail end towards the end of the marathon. I feel like that's the pattern.
I always catch the very last episode fully
because
I tell everybody leaves the house and I tell my wife, leave me alone. Because it's the last episode. We ain't gonna watch this for another 365 days. Leave me alone. Everybody's gone, especially this year. Oh my God, Christmas is on a Saturday. I love weekend Christmas.
Yeah,
it's so much easier, than trying to get everybody out of the house. You can go to sleep to go to work the next day.
Yeah.
Yes, it's on a Saturday.
Yeah.
So I'll try to steer this question in a way because since you mentioned it as part of your childhood memory, but perhaps along the lines of the Red Ryder BB gun, a childhood gift that you were like mad for, like you just like possessed that I have to get this gift.
Nintendo, the original Nintendo.
Yeah.
I finagled my way into that Christmas gift. You're laughing, but I did. I finagled my way into it. Our neighbors had one. It was actually the landlord's kids downstairs, and we used to play it. I used to go down there and play it, and I remember going to a flea market with my parents late November, early December. I mean, it was around Christmas time, whatever it was, and I convinced my mother to buy me Zelda. And she's like, "Why do you need this to play downstairs?" And say, "No, you're going to buy me one for Christmas. You're going to buy me a Nintendo, Mom." And God, how old was I? Let me see. We moved to that house. I was 9. So what? 10, 11 years old, maybe. Flea market, 9 years old, maybe. And it's like, Zelda. And lo and behold, Christmas came and there was the Nintendo sitting there.
Nice. There you go. You know how to make things work then. Like, this is gonna happen.
I still finagle my way around this, but now with my wife.
You gotta manifest that stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
You're gonna buy me another popcorn bucket. That's what you're gonna buy. Why? Because you are.
You had me at flea market though. Flea markets.
I love flea. Are you kidding me? I love flea markets. That's where I've immensed half of my collection is from flea markets.
Yeah. I feel like there's one flea market in my memory bank but I feel like it was more of an indoor flea market. It kind of smelled like pickles. I don't know where this.
You know what that is?
What it is?
I know it is. It's Shoppers Village out on Hempstead Turnpike Town.
Oh, is that
it's not there anymore? Yeah.
I'm like, we had one of those up here too. It smelled like hot dogs.
Yeah, like
it was an old dog track. It was an old dog track. They turned it into an indoor flea market. This place was huge, and it smelled like hot dogs.
You might be thinking of another place that's similar, and I'll have to think about the name of that. But maybe I'm confusing Shoppers Village with something else. Now I'm gonna. This will be my night
because we've never discussed this before. But it always
you used to put your hand into the pickle barrel. It wasn't even like a pair of tongs to pull out the pickle. Everyone just putting their hands in the pickle.
No one needs that.
It made it taste so much better.
Of course. Come on.
We have one final question coming up before we go down to pickle juice in a barrel.
Yeah, I know, because we'll keep going. Yeah. Final question. Can you describe your perfect, ideal holiday Disney day?
Oh, wow. Perfect
holiday
Disney day. Yeah, wow. I'm used to stomping people with my own questions. You know what? I really can right now. It just hit me. I have not been to Disney in a long time with all my children.
Okay.
The older ones stopped going for different reasons, but they stopped going. We haven't been all together. And now even with the grandchild, I think the perfect Disney holiday would be exactly that. A trip with all 4 children, their significant others, and my granddaughter. Yeah. Leave the in-laws home this time. But that would be it. Anywhere in Disney, give me Disney Springs, but with all the children together again in Disney. It's been since 2010. Yeah.
It's
So
time.
that would, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be it right there. And it's going to happen because I already told my oldest that it's going to happen with the granddaughter because I'm kidnapping her at the age of 2.5. 2.5 because at 3, I'd have to pay for her ticket. So at 2.5, she's getting kidnapped and going down with grandpa and grandma. And if they want to come along, well, he can afford it. He makes more money than me. So if he wants to come along, he can come down.
Perfect.
I did that with my daughter 2 months before she turned 3. I'm like, we're going to Disney one more time before I have to start paying for you. Let's go. Let's get
Well,
going.
that was each except for the older ones, but my 2 with my wife now, they're both first times was at that age, 2.5. And it's a great, people ask what's a good age to bring children. I always say that 2.5.
Yeah.
And it's got nothing to do with the money or anything, but 2.5, 3 years old, they're grown enough to know what's going on and old enough to remember most of it. Because my daughter, she went back a few years later and she remembered where JoJo's Circus was, taking photos. We'd walk down and be like, and she remembered everything. And same thing with Ethan. But then again, Ethan was going every year. He's the lucky one. The kid's been more times in the last 4 or 5 years than what some children go in their lifetimes. He's spoiled. It's like being a New England Patriots. It's like being a Patriots fan. They're spoiled,
Full circle.
Before we go on your live stream, the week that we're recording, you mentioned, and I think it's important to maybe just discuss amongst the 3 of us right now. I would say Jen and I were never rope droppers. I wouldn't say the family was necessarily rope droppers, but I feel like lately I've discovered the perks of that. And you were like adamant, like, listen, the first 2 to 3 hours is your golden time.
Do you want me to put it in my terms?
Yes.
Yes.
Listen, I'm blunt. We all know, people that do know me, and hopefully some new people get to know me. But I'm blunt. And yes, get your butts up. You're not in Disney to sleep. You paid, not me. Some of you paid $600-$700 a night not to sleep because you're not there to sleep. You might like those rooms, but you're not there to sleep. But no, seriously, get up, get to the park. Do not spend your money on Disney Genie. This is all my opinion. Do not spend your money on Disney Genie. Get up early, rope drop. The park opens at least, if not more, 30 minutes before the time they say they are. So even if you're staying on property and you have those extra 30 minutes, thanks a lot, Bob Cheapstick. You get those extra 30 minutes instead of an hour. But to be honest with you, let's say the park opens at 9. So resort guests, you get in at 8:30. By 8:10, you can get into the park and rides are open.
Yeah.
You can bang out the important rides in the first 3 hours of the day. I have proven that over and over. Other channels in this community have proven that over and over. I've proven it. Do it. Get up early. Don't spend your money on Disney Genie or Disney Plus. And just do it. Get up and go. And you know what? Take a break during the day and then come back in the evening and bang out the rest of the park.
We're all about the midday break.
Done. Yeah. It's tough on your body. My wife hates setting the alarm for 5:30, but even she realizes that it's the way to go.
Yeah.
It's definitely the way to go, especially Rise of the Resistance. Get up early. Don't pay the $15.
Right.
Don't.
Yeah.
It's an interesting time, I feel like, in this Genie Plus era that everyone, I think, is going to start discovering that soon also.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Well, Carlos, one of the things that we love about doing this podcast is meeting people who have created communities for themselves. And so, we've always appreciated the live streams you've done on your YouTube channel and the people that you engage every week. And so I can't believe it's taken this long to have you here on the podcast, honestly, but hopefully it won't be so long next time.
Yes.
I appreciate the invite, and I'm sorry it's taken me so long to have you on my interview show. I know we were booked. We were
Yeah,
booked.
we were.
And then Jen couldn't make it, and then I took a break from doing interview. We blame Jen, right? Isn't
Of
that what we
course.
doing?
Of course.
I mean,
We always
when all
blame the
else fails.
sisters. I blame mine for everything. But no, this was a blast. Again, I love what I do, but it's more of meeting people and Frank meeting you in person, and Jen now seeing you here for the first time and talking to you in person is fantastic. And yeah, I look forward to doing this again. Your channel, my channel, or just a hangout. We don't have to go live. We don't have to record anything. I tell everybody that's because that's what it. That's what this community means to me. We just love to hang out and talk to people.
Yeah, agreed.
Carlos, thank you so much. You want to do the plugs? You can hit me with the plugs to tell us all your things and all the places we can find you.
Again, YouTube, it's Disney World Freak, 3 words. Instagram is Disney World Freaks. I think
that's correct. Yeah.
Twitter is Coach Estevez, I think, or
That's
Coach
correct.
Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's sad that I don't even. Again, it's sad that I don't even know my own plugs because I don't mention them. But yeah, live on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. 4 to 6, sometimes 4 to 5. Hangouts with friends, and Saturdays usually at 10 a.m. That'll be back eventually with some interviews of lovely channels like yourselves. And the only time I go live from the parks, unfortunately, is when we're on Disney trips. So. But when we are there, we are live every day, twice a day, because I do the coffee talk in the morning too. So, yeah, that's me. Hello, hi, how are you?
Carlos,
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. That's exactly how I knew it would be. Just the 3 of us shooting it for shooting the breeze, as it were, for an hour or so. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. This was a lot of fun. Thanks a lot, guys.
Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz, featuring Frank Cardillo and Jen Cardillo Snyder. The theme was composed by Matt Harvey. The intro and the outro was performed by Lindsay Zarugian. The Dillo's Diz fact checker is Mel Dale. You can give Dillo's Diz a follow on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok at Dillo's Diz. Dillo's with an S, Diz with a Z. You can like Dillo's Diz on Facebook, facebook.com/Dillo's Diz. And you can subscribe to Dillo's Diz on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dillo's Diz. That is where you'll find Theme Park Thursday live each and every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Drop us a line. Dillo's Diz, 55 Gerard Street, number 987, Huntington, New York, 11743. And you can check in to the Dillo's Diz Resort at dillosdizresort.com, your virtual destination for exclusive Dillo's Diz content. 3 membership level tiers, all at dillosdizresort.com. We'll see you real soon, and that real soon is next week for Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz. The Improviser's Guide Network 2021.